Stress is the power you give, I give, to outside circumstance to define what you believe you're capable of handling successfully. In the midst of the corona craze, I'm going to offer a quick EFT demonstration on how you can use this specific stress relief methodology to calm your overactive mind. As soon as you give power to anything outside of you, and today there's plenty of shiny objects outside of us that we can easily be hijacked by. And as we give power to those things that we're seeing around us, outside of us, it's easy to flip into the stress response. As soon as you give that power out to something that is in this space rather than in this space, inside of you, you render yourself completely vulnerable to rising and falling, depending upon what you see and what you hear around you. The EFT technique, the emotional freedom technique, gives you the opportunity to calm the monkey mind, to give your body a chance to reboot, to get off the stage of the drama, take a deep breath, and remember that you have a greater strength within you to overcome exterior circumstance if you choose to tune into that. And if you don't spill out of yourself and you stay inside that castle inside, pull up the drawbridge, calm the monkey mind down, then you can be in that executive thinking portion of the brain where you are curious and fascinated and actually very quick on your feet. Many times, these forced pauses in life give us the opportunity to reflect on and reprioritize what we value most in life. When I was diagnosed with advanced cancer 1 week prior to my divorce court date back in 2006, that was a forced pause in my life. It gave me an incredible opportunity to recollect the pieces of myself that I farmed out to different situations, different desired outcomes, my own personal pursuits, to really get off the stage of drama in life and to lean into that pause rather than resisting it, to use it as an opportunity to resurrect your ability to find creative ways to do life that are more aligned with what you value most in this life as you're moving through it. EFT was one of the many different stress management techniques that I teach and that I used when I was going through 5 years of treatment. In less than a 2-year period of time, back in 2006, I went through a double mastectomy, 16 rounds of chemo, additional 2 years of experimental chemo, 6 weeks of daily radiation, 14 surgeries due to third-degree burns on my chest. They had to graft my back on my front. So many people have heard me speak before. I use the joke, I don't know if I'm coming or going most days because my back is literally on my front. I bring this up and I share a little bit of my personal experience just to connect with you as we're going through a time of uncertainty. I was told the doctors were trying to get me 5 years to live. I didn't know what the future held at that time. I had 3 young children, 8, 10, and 12. So my heart identifies with that sense of panic that can happen. Now we see it over toilet paper and other products. And really, when you peel it back and look behind the panic to see what's really going on, our safety and connection has been bumped. Am I going to be safe? Is my family going to be safe? So to pull yourself back into the place of your greatest sense of peace and ability to come up with creative solutions, you want to be hanging out in the frontal cortex, part of the brain. This is that solution-based part of the brain. An interesting fun fact I learned several weeks ago, the average IQ is around 100. 100. Einstein was rocking about 165. When you are stressed, emotionally stressed, when you're experiencing intense fear or intense anger, you can actually bump down your IQ points 30 points, bringing us around 70. Now, 70 is the benchmark for cognitive disability. Cognitive disability, mild cognitive disability. The inability to be able to tune into all of the different pieces of information you're able to tune into when you're full functioning at around 100 or above. This gives us the opportunity to realize the impact of staying in a fearful, stressed, and angry space. So, let's jump into the technique. Using the coronavirus, I'm going to just plug it in. I'm going to demonstrate for you just so that you can mimic this and take this along with you on your journey. Feel free to share it. Feel free to tap with your kids to bring this into relationships with people you know who are being hijacked by the fear and the anxiety around, I wonder what will happen. I wonder if I will be safe. So specifically, we're going to create a couple of containers. Whenever you can create a container for your stress, it stops running viral. The first container is to ask yourself on a scale from 1 to 10, how strong, we're going to go with the feeling of fear, how strong is my fear inside of me right now? What number comes up? This is referred to the SUDS way of measuring your stress. That's, you put it in a container on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the most intense, subjective unit of distress, or 1, what comes up for you? So just pause and tune into your sense of fear around the uncertainty. When will I start going to the office again? When will there be more toilet paper? Will I be able to take care of my family? What number comes up for you on a scale from 1 to 10? Once you have that number around the fear, let's say it's an 8. I have about an 8% or an 8 level, which can be translated into 80% of me is stressed out about this or fearful about this. The next container you create is to tune into, where do I feel this fear in my body? Do I feel it in my head? Am I getting a headache? Can I not think straight? Am I confused in that state of panic? Am I unable to focus, stay on task? So it's in my head, or is it in my chest? Do I have a hard time breathing in this sense of panic? Or my gut? Do I feel punched in the gut because I have to close down my shop, or I'm not getting as many clients? Tune into where you feel it in your body. That is the second container. First one is the SUDS level. SUDS, the subjective unit of distress. Second one is ask yourself the question, where do I feel this in my body? Okay, I have about an 8 and I feel it in my chest. I have a hard time breathing. I get very panicked, and so therefore I have a hard time breathing. The third is to simply close your eyes and drop into that place where you feel the stress. Look around. And this is kind of an interesting phase of the EFT. It actually allows you to be the boss of the stress rather than the stress being the boss of you. You go down in, you start looking around. What does it look like? It's tight, it's restricted. What color would I imagine it being? It's kind of red, it's foggy, I can't see where I'm going. Once you come up with what it looks like and perhaps what shape it is, the density of what you see in terms of the pain, you've created containers. You've quarantined, which is a very popular word we're using right now with the coronavirus. You've quarantined your stress in your body. So it's not just running rampant. Stress is like water. It will find the paths of least resistance. And then all of a sudden, we are rendered with sleepless nights and below the line behavior. So take back the power you're giving to the stress by quarantining it through effective questioning. Once you have those 3 questions answered, on a scale from 1 to 10, how intense is this fear? Where do I feel it in my body? What does it look like, that stress? If I could imagine what it looked like, what would it look like in this area? Now we're ready to apply the technique. So simply tapping on the side of your hand, which is the setup statement, we're going to say 3 times and speak into that fear. Even though I have this fear, about 80% of me is fearful because of the unknown. I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know if it's going to shut me down or affect my company or my job. All of this fear This 80% of me is fearful. I am willing, by the grace of God, to deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. And I choose, we're adding a little choices method by Pat Carrington, choose your desired state of being. And I choose, in spite of my fear, to return to peace, calm, and confidence. So here we're stating where you're at. We're linking it to your desired state of being. Even though I'm feeling fearful, I choose to return to peace, calm, and confidence. Now, I bring in my faith relationship as well with God. That's personal. That's up to you. So I'll often say, even though I'm afraid, I'm willing to give more authority to the strength of God within me than to my circumstance. And I choose to return to a place of peace, calm, and confidence. I've gone through difficult times before, and I'm willing to believe with the strength of God within me that I can do it again, easily and naturally. Even though I'm afraid, I'm willing to deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. And I give my body permission, by God's grace, to relax, to remember I have files from my past that have shown that I can go through difficult times and that I can have more strength than the circumstance to move through it successfully. I'm still here. I've done it before and I can do it again. Even though I'm afraid, I'm willing to deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway. Then after you've done this setup statement, now I'm kind of doing more of a therapeutic video here. You can keep it very simple. Even though I'm afraid, I'm willing to love and accept myself anyway. I choose peace, calm, and confidence. Dear God, help me. Help me to return to peace. Even though I'm afraid, I'm willing to deeply and completely love and accept myself anyway, and I choose peace and confidence. The key thing with the setup statement is say it 3 times. Say your undesired state, emotional state of being, and also choose your desired state and put that in the setup statement. Then you're ready to just do the reminder phrase. On the other point, starting at your eyebrow point, just simply say fear. Fear, coronavirus fear, this coronavirus fear, this coronavirus fear. This is the collarbone point, coronavirus fear. Under your arm, where the bra strap line is for women, this coronavirus fear. Top of the head, this coronavirus fear. Don't I have to stay here? After you say the coronavirus fear 1 time around, then you can start alternating back and forth. Don't I have to stay here? This coronavirus fear. I wonder if there's another way. This coronavirus fear. I give my body permission to tune into what is working out for me right now versus what's not. I choose to focus on the positive. This coronavirus fear. I choose to give God more authority. This is the under the arm point. This coronavirus fear. All of this fear in my body, I feel like it's shutting me down. I can't think straight. I choose peace and calm anyway. I'm so scared. I'm not sure what's going to happen in the future. I don't know if I'm going to be okay. I choose peace and calm anyway. I give God more authority than I do to this fear. This coronavirus fear. I'm afraid I'm not going to be okay. My family's not going to be okay. What if I get it? What if my parents get it? I choose to remain in a place of peace and calm anyway, and to give more authority to the strength of God within me than to the circumstance outside of me. This coronavirus fear. I don't know if I'm going to be okay. I'm willing to choose peace and calm anyway. All of this fear within me. And then the final place, the final round that you do is just the positive. So you do 1 of just the negative, coronavirus fear, 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 fear. Then you alternate. Don't I have to stay here? I wonder if there's another way. This coronavirus fear. You start to break a hole in your impoverished view of reality that only leaves you 3 choices when you're in the fear mode. When you're in the stress mode, you only have 3 choices: fight, flight, or freeze. You're breaking holes in that impoverished view of reality that I'm not okay. You have gone through difficult times before, and you're still here. Just as I pull from my files of going through advanced cancer, I'm still here. You've done it before, you can do it again. Then you do your final round with the positive. I choose peace and confidence. It's okay, body. You can return to peace. I can't be effective if I'm not in that place of peace. I choose peace and calm. I'm willing to return to peace and calm. It's okay, body. You're safe. You've gone through difficult times before. God is with you. You're not alone. We can do this. So you're speaking life into that fear. I've done difficult things before, and I'm willing, by God's grace, to believe I can do it again. I'm not alone. I'm not alone. I can do difficult things. I've done it before, and I can do it again. I choose peace and calm, simply because it feels a lot better. I choose confidence, calm and confidence. I've been calm and confident before during difficult times. I'm willing to do it again, now moving forward, easily and naturally. And then I like to end the tapping sequence with just tapping on your thymus, which is the U-shaped dip. There's a U-shaped dip at the base of your neck. Go 2 inches down and just tap with your 4 fingertips and just repeat this statement, just as a grounding statement. I'm willing to have faith and confidence in my future. I'm willing to believe my future is secure. I'm willing to believe that I am secure. I'm willing to have faith and confidence in my future. I'm willing to believe my future is secure. I'm willing to believe that I am secure. You can bring in the faith aspect too. I'm willing to have faith and confidence in God. I'm willing to believe that God is with me. My future is secure. I am secure. I'm willing to have faith and confidence in God. I'm willing to believe that my future is secure. And I give that belief more authority than the fear. I'm willing to believe that I am secure and my future is secure. And then just breathe in through your nose. And then just release. And then you tune back in. After you've done a couple rounds of tapping, just tune back in to where you felt that fear on a scale from 1 to 10. It was about an 8. You tune back in where you felt it. I felt it in my chest. Going to drop back in on a scale from 1 to 10. Well, it's about a 4 now. Then just, you don't have to do the whole setup statement again. Then you can just say remaining 4 fear, remaining 4 fear, remaining 4 fear. Don't I have to stay here? I wonder if there's another way. I wonder if I can remember how I went through difficult times before in the past. I choose to resurrect that confidence. I've done difficult things before, and I'm willing to believe I can do it again, easily and naturally, now moving forward. So after you've done the round, the original round, you pause, tune in, scale from 1 to 10, even if it bumps down, keep going until you get down to a 0. I'll often tell clients that are dealing with little t trauma to tap 18 to 20 times a day, consistently for 3 weeks, to release really hard belief systems around trauma from the past. EFT works best when you are specific and when you are consistent. As I mentioned, this is one of the techniques I used when I went through advanced cancer and divorce at the same time. It's a very powerful technique. As with every technique, it doesn't work for everybody, and it works for most people. So explore. See if this is a helpful tool for you in the midst of all of the fear outside of us. Come back in. Resurrect that sense of peace and calm and give more authority to the strength of God within you than to the circumstance outside of you. If you want more stress relief tips or information, articles around stress management, please visit my website at laurenemiller.com. That's laurenemiller.com. I also host a website. I also host a podcast called edgegodin.com. edgegodin.com. Enjoy your gift of life.